Hi guys, welcome back once again. This is the second game of today. We've got a few more after this one. Going to be Late Bloomers versus Torch. Torch going to be on the left-hand side of your screen and Late Bloomers on the right. And straight off the bat, we're going to see an Osiris ban from Torch.
Yeah, Osiris isn't really a character that they favor playing. Late bloomers are going to be getting rid of Loki, which is, as we all know, incredible in North America, played by literally every team, and it's not just his ability to farm and create really good kills and sort of bait Aegis amulets, he also has amazing split push.
And on the other side as well, we're going to see from Torch going to take out Athena as well. So clearly they saw a little bit of what happened in the last game, and people in North America seem to be prioritizing Athena a lot at the moment.
Yeah, Athena is very, very strong with that global presence. We saw a hint of that in the last game with the early rotation for First Blood, but Rom first pick, very, very strong in one glance, is an incredibly strong hunter that could really do a lot with this character. Aphrodite, though, for the solo lane on Late Bloomers, the question is Torch going to be able to pull out a good counter matchup? Habois is banned away, very good against Aphrodite if the solo laner from Late Bloomers doesn't play absolutely perfectly with that ultimate. And then also the Geb pick, which means they're looking to protect a single player.
I mean, it's really scary to see an Aphrodite because everyone's so used to seeing a band. A lot of people forget that Aphrodite is even in the game, you know? You don't see her that much because she's always banned from either team, but now she's been left up because the likes of Osiris, because the likes of Habois and Athena have been prioritized. It's going to allow her to get onto the fields of the gods and see what they can actually do. And with Geb being taken up there, that's a big one for EU. That's a big shout out for me from EU because like Geb is like first pick, first ban material right now in terms of supports over on EU. And it looks like North America are feeling similar other than Athena being taken out. I think Torch have a game plan though.
Yeah, well, the Zhong Kui pick is absolutely necessary. Mercury for their jungler, but they need to take Zhong away just so Late Bloomers doesn't run an Aphrodite Geb Zhong. Because you just shield the Zhong, have the Aphrodite linked to the Zhong, and then you can't kill him. And when you can't kill Zhong Kui, you have to use Shell, use Heavenly Agility, and just run away. Artemis instead for the Late Bloomers, and that's another character that you definitely want to protect. And with the Aphrodite Geb, you can do just that. Counter bans. Moving on, and we're going to see what the Late Bloomers are going to get rid of.
I mean, one thing to note as well, Craig, is the fact that they banned Athena, and now they've lost Geb away to Late Bloomers. What is Torch going to do in terms of supports? I expect to see Late Bloomers ban a support here. No, they're actually going to ban out Chang'e.
Yeah, Chang'e is the other common counter matchup for Aphrodite. There are a few more that are a little bit more niche, such as Hell, right? You don't really see a Hell, but that matchup can go very well for her. And the ban for Torches can be the Nemesis. Nemesis is a great counter to Zhong Kui. Getting rid of that allows Torch to run a more Zhong Kui focused composition. And now it's up to Late Bloomers to have the first pick in the second stage of picks and bans. Torch is going to be spending this time thinking about what they want to run against Aphrodite. You want to try and control her in the early game, or find a way to deal with her in the late game. Chang'e is pretty good at both of those.
Well, Ale Kwang being hovered over right now by Late Bloomers, and it looks like that one is going to be locked in as well by Osmosis on that as well. So they've got the mid laner sorted out. They're only missing a jungler and Late Bloomers, but now we're back to Torch, and they've got a choice of what they're going to run as a support, as well as what the mid or solo lane is going to be now that they picked up that Zhong Kui. And right now, Craig, it looks like they're going to go with Guan Yu.
Yeah, and I'm going to assume it's in the support role, though he has been seen in the solo lane, but that would, I don't think, be a particularly good matchup. In the support role, I actually kind of like this, right? Guan Yu recently got a buff that increased his physical protections on his heal up to 45, and up against a team that is playing Protect the Artemis, when you can increase your team's physical protection by 45 and then add up a Shell, add a Sov, that suddenly becomes a very, very tanky team, a very, very tanky Zhong Kui, and Artemis could have a really tough time. I wouldn't even mind seeing, you know, something like a Midgardian Male on one of these characters. You're definitely going to see a Witchblade, and it looks like just shutting down the Artemis through picks and through itemization is going to be Torch's strategy here.
It almost feels like Torch came into this wanting to play Guan Yu in support role. The way they've done their picks and bans, banning away Athena and leaving Geb available, and then, waiting so long for it, it feels like Guan Yu was going to be their support no matter what, really, going into this. So it looks like they've got a strategy around that. And, with Zhong Kui on their side, like you said, those protections from the conviction being buffed, he used to give protections anyway, just everyone seems to forget about it.
Yeah. Well, it is only physical protection, no magic protection whatsoever, and, you know, given this Kali last pick for late bloomers, very strong character, a little bit weak in the early game, and it definitely depends on how they play it in the jungle. But I feel like with a Midgardian male onto Zhang Kui, maybe, yeah, I'd probably say a Midgardian male on Zhang, Kali could have a really rough time killing him, and that could be really good for Torch. And Rom, when you go to dive Rom, one of his options that's so powerful is you just go up in the air, fire 2 shots, and just wait. 6 seconds of safety.
I mean, the other aspect as well is now with Kali and Aphrodite on the same team, she can link up with Kali and allow her to just go crazy. And then that magical damage from the back off and the doves gonna, help her out in that team fight situation to be able to sustain, not need to blow the ultimate, but also the magical damage coming out of that against a team that's gonna probably focus more physical.
Yeah, this really is sort of a 2 hyper threat composition coming out from late bloomers. Artemis is a big problem. Kali's a big problem. Bloomers can protect either of them, depends on who gets ahead, and it's up to Torch to try and deal with it, perhaps through kiting, perhaps through dive, and I think they do have the ability to do so. I don't feel like Torch got outpicked here. It comes down to just making it happen, using their abilities in the right way, and this is one of those matches where imagine if Chalk still had the attack speed slow on his raid. That would turn the whole thing.
I mean, one thing to know as well, guys, this is going to be Torch versus late bloomers, but right now we're going to see a Guan Yu support more than likely in this game. One thing to note, though, 4 physical damage dealers on the side of Torch, and that's why we see more Guardians just to balance it out a little bit more. But we'll be right back anyway. Let's see how this plays out for Torch versus late bloomers in the other first round engagement between these two. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to week 2 of the North American play-ins. We're going to be following Torch versus late bloomers. Let's work out who's on what side and where they're playing. Torch going to be starting in the bottom half of the map. Striped Otter going to be playing Guan Yu support. One Glance is going to be playing Rom in the Hunter role. Davis Ark is playing Chuck. I believe that's going to be in the solo. Gusta on Zhong Kui in the middle lane, and El Chapo on Mercury in the jungle.
Now on the other side is going to be the late bloomers. Fabi going to be playing your support Geb, doing the ward and recall strategy. Fosman on that hunter role. Artemis Osmos in your solo lane. Aphrodite CV on your mid lane. Alkwang and Vinaroon on your jungle Kali. Jungle Kali is going to be an interesting pick, and with that Bumba's mass change and the true damage every hit, that's going to be nice for her in her attack chain, where you get 50% auto attack, 50% more auto attacks.
I'm surprised. One thing right off the block, Vinaroon, I can't say it is Vinaroon. Vinaroon, let's go with that. Vinaroon playing that Kali has gone for a multi-potion at the start, which is something that we don't see that often, other than supports. Even the supports are slowly drifting away from it. I mean, a multi-potion, it's not relatively going to give you much of either when, it comes to crunch time in the jungle.
I mean, we'll see what he does with it, but, Kali does have that little bit of sustain from the Lash and the healing or the lifesteal it grants, so we'll see how that happens. And with an Aphrodite nearby, I don't hate the multi-potion just because Osmos can give Vinaroon an extra jolt of health whenever he needs it or whenever he's in the area. But the game has started off and is going to be fairly standard for both teams. El Chapo will be soloing out that red buff, and it's going to be a hog jungle on both sides.
Yeah, both the jungles as well on that have both started with the boots, not gone for the hog 2 start, gone for the extra mobility. And that makes sense, with a Kali, with a Mercury, they both want to get that mobility up as much as possible and quick as possible too.
Yeah, especially Mercury with that extra damage from movement speed, gonna give him just a little bit more. Gives him, I think, 12 physical power there, it looks like. So that's certainly nice. In the middle lane, things seem to be fairly even between Gusta and CV. CV having a slight clear advantage, but not pressuring particularly hard. And this Zhang Kui, he might be pushed back a little bit, but that's fine right now.
And the duo lane you'll see from Touch, they will push very aggressively on this Geb and Artemis just because of the massive amounts of wave clear available to Rom and Guan Yu. Remember, Rom will have a small change in the next patch just to make sure he actually has to use some form of mana, and that's why you've got Guan Yu with that blue buff right now in that lane.
Yeah, Guan Yu with blue is so nice. Not only are you able to Talu Assault all day, and honestly, there's no way to interrupt it in this dual lane as well, which is very, very strong, but you're able to spam those heals if you do need them, which provides a necessary amount of sustain up against Artemis. But look at this, both junglers rotating out of the solo lane, and it looks like El Chapo is going to take a visit to mid.
Yeah, El Chapo actually is going to soak up some experience there as well. No reason to try and go aggressive. Kwang very safe in that lane overall. Going to rotate straight over towards his speed buff area. Meanwhile, Carly did take her back experience camp, so still pretty even for the most part as he goes over for this speed.
Yeah, in the dual lane, Striped Otter finds a trap, takes a fair amount of damage. Will be sustaining up over time. Kali, halfway over, considers rotating in, but is spotted out on a ward, I think just as it dies?
Yep, that's right. She did get spotted out just before it went down as well, so that just going to give her away. She showed her face just to say, hey, I'm in the area, be careful, guys, don't go too aggressive. But the thing about this is now Striped Otter on that Guan Yu took so much poke, but easily going to be able to heal most of it back up with that conviction. For the most part, anyway.
Merkel. It's charging up, and it's going to be looking for Geb here. Sonic Boom towards the wall. No real way out, and that's going to be Made You Look securing the kill, putting it onto Mercury, and going to set El Chapo up for those early plays. Looking very, very good.
And the big thing about that as well, this is at the mid-camp respawn as well, Krat, and that's going to mean that Geb's still going to be level 4. I don't think he's going to be able to get here in time. El Chapo's not going to go aggressive on this Kwang in middle lane, but mid-camps are available right now, and it looks like Torch just want to take the left-hand side here. I'm surprised they're not going for both.
Yeah, it looks like they just want to focus on the left, not going for... Well, I mean, we saw what happened last game with the Spirit Tempest, and the Incense Stun from Kali isn't particularly bad setup. It's not necessarily the longest stun in the world, but you certainly could see stun into Spirit Tempest, and that would be a really good way to get a kill for late bloomers. That said, Kali on the right-hand side can be pressured out, forced to take another way around, and... For these junglers, there's not too much left to do. Those right safe gold camps are going to be the next things to go. Kali's going to start hers, and El Chapo looks like he's looking at the solo lane.
Well, he's going to go to the solo lane right now, going to find the special delivery, but immediately the Undying Love comes out in response to make sure she breaks that one, backs away to tower, going to be safe for the most part there. Looking over at the Hunters though, once again, and quick checking with them, we're going to see a bit of a difference in itemization. We're going to see one glance going for the Devourer's Gauntlet start, meanwhile we see the Artemis going for that Heartseeker, and at the moment they should relatively get their item builds online about the same time right about now.
Yeah, that said, one glance going for those Devourer's Gauntlets because Artemis is so poke heavy. So going to be able to sustain up in lane just a little bit more, and that could make all the difference. Both Hunters, or actually just Artemis returning to base, but both blue buffs have respawned. This could be an opportunity for Torch to go on the invade because, as we all know, junglers love their speed buffs, so Kali is at the speed, just took it, now showing herself in the solo lane. This is a really good opportunity to invade, and I think is missed from Torch.
Yeah, not going to go for that for the time being. Right hand side, Mercury going to take out the blue buff, ready for Chalk to pick up. Left hand side, you can see Torch doing it with their duo lane on their own blue. For the most part, that's just that one early kill from Torch. Mercury using his ult wisely, and he's back online again, so I expect to see him look for some more pressure one more time round. I think this is just the whole game plan in the early stages for Torch. Use Mercury ult, look for a kill, and then just try and get something off the back of it.
Yeah, and it's certainly not a bad plan. They're going to go for the blue invade just a little bit late, and that's going to be actually the Warhorse coming out. Fazin,
this is dangerous.
Rom up in the air. Can they really make this happen too? And that's going to be Fazin finding, or Striped Otter finding a trap. This is going to be really, really tough. But here comes Goose. The Spirit Tempest will not connect. And now it's Zhonghui with the demons. Is he going to find anything?
No, he's just got to walk away because he's got 4 people. He's going to use that for a disengage, really, with those exposed demons. Forced them all back. He had the minion wave come into lane as well to cause him some issues into the jungle. But everyone's just going to disengage from that one overall. And it was very lucky from Striped Otter's point of view. He went very aggressive, not realizing AO Kwang was in the area. And AO missing that Spirit Tempest paid off. Special delivery misses in mid from El Chapo, so he's still 1-0.
Yeah, that Twitch reaction from CV just to turn around the moment he saw Mercury, like, oh god, don't pull me. It was really, really well timed. That said, it would have been and a resource-intensive kill coming out from El Chapo. He likely would have had to use special delivery, as Zhonghui didn't have recall demons up, and Zhonghui's not necessarily the best character without his ultimate available. Speaking of which, mid camps, 3 people on the left hand, 4 people on the left hand side as Faz is rotating over. I don't like this for Torch.
Well, we'll see what's going on. Sonic Boom being charged by Mercury, looking for an opportunity if there is one. You can see Otto going aggressive. He's not got the cavalry charge available. He's going to get surrounded, dashes into the whirlwind, and now Carly's coming in as well. Otto getting very low, but he's going to survive for now. Meanwhile, the Hunters are dueling backwards and forwards, and Rom getting the bigger exchange. Special delivery lands onto the wrong target. I think they were focusing Fabi, but now Carly's in trouble. To the sky with the Astral Barrage. He goes. Is he going to find it? He forces the ultimate. He's stayed up in this guy for a long time, gets the damage off onto Fozzie, but Fozzie manages to take out El Chapo on the backside. It's 1-1. Is Fozzie going to live?
Yeah, Fozin's gonna. Looks like he's getting there, but Exorcism auto attack finds it in the end, and that's going to be the 1-for-1 kill overall. Late Bloomers able to disengage there. It looked like there was a little bit of confusion with the calls coming out from Torch. They switched their targets around 3 times. First Geb into Kali, and then into Artemis.
Yeah, I just don't think they can find anything. I mean, Artemis was zoned out, but she did a great job considering she got herself in a bad spot, managing to find a kill for herself, so traded 1-for-1. However, now these mid-camps on both sides are going to go over in favor of Torch for the most part. So it's only going to be a small lead. It's nothing substantial at this stage of the game. With the Gold Fury on 7 minutes in the game, 2-1, still anyone's game.
Yeah, it's still looking good for both teams. 8 minutes in is definitely the later stages of the early game, so they don't really have a great chance to pull out a gold lead right now. That said, pushing forward, I mean, let's take a look at this solo line. Davis Arc looks like he's going to be going into an Ansele first, and do you think he's going to really be able to pressure Osmos on the Aphrodite enough to perhaps slow down her farm or slow down her rotations or maybe even get a kill?
I don't think so. Honestly, I think what that's going to be is for later on in the game when he has to go into these team fights against the likes of the Ao Kwang as well, so he can actually dive in there, absorb that damage up that's going to be required from him on the front line, and actually try and, you know, make a difference in the fight. Obviously, it helps with things like against things like Geb as well, because obviously Geb is magical damage, and surprisingly enough, Geb does a lot of magical damage, and people underestimate how much it is.
Yeah, I mean, that Cataclysm can hit very hard, and
Yes,
you know, there
it
are
can.
some Geb players, and it's not really a conquest thing, but there are definitely some Geb players who at some point will go into an Obsidian Shard, because that's really one of the best ways to
When you're in
increase the
carry
damage.
mode. When you're in carry mode, that's what I do. When I'm in carry mode, get an Obsidian Shard, then a Soul Reaver, and have fun times from the support role. But
Wait, you mean Soul Reaver isn't a core item?
it is for my Kumbhakana, that's for sure. Like, that's core.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
for Bacchus. I'm for Bacchus. A small pause there, guys. Going to be over with sooner rather than later. One thing to note, though, this Heartseeker start, I'm so worried about the Heartseeker start, right, Crep? Because if you die early after building it and stacking it up, you go back to base with half stacks. Meanwhile, if the other guy's gone Devour's Gauntlets, like in this case Rom has, then even if he dies, he's still going to have those stacks. So overall, if you try and trade with him after going back to lane, you're really going to lose those trades.
Yeah, you definitely can. That said, Artemis is going to be going into Heartseeker and a Gauntlet, whereas Rom going to be going Devo Gloves into likely an Executioner. Not working on Boots just yet, which is definitely an interesting plan. It can bring a little bit more damage to the table, and with Rom's long-range nature, I don't hate this. It's definitely just a choice coming out from these players. Both support still working on their Midas boots at 8 minutes. They're actually a little bit late, so been spending a lot of money elsewhere, and it is important to note that Fabi on the Geb does have Hog 3, whereas Striped Otter does not.
Fabi's done a great job of getting himself back into this one, really. He was behind, he was the first blood for his team, only level 4. Equal levels right now with Otter, just falling behind ever so slightly there, as you can see, but he's gone for the Hog 3 very early, like you said, and I think, you know, it's going to delay his Midas boots, which Otter's just gone back to base and picked up. However, it's definitely good for his team if they're going to be looking for the Gold Fury. If not, I don't think it's going to pay off.
Yeah, and while I think late bloomers do have a really, really good composition to kill the Gold Fury early on, they don't really have a great composition to fight over it. I mean, in the early stages of the game, that cavalry charge into Recall Demons could really do a lot. Jungler is going to be on opposite sides of the map right now, El Chapo on the left and Vinaroon on the right, which is an interesting situation. Mid camps are coming up left camp in the next 3 seconds, and this should go cleanly to Torch.
Well, Chuck's got to be careful on the right-hand side as those mid-camps are going down because he's been caught out of position, has to use the Lightning Storm just to disengage and force that one out. Expect to see if Carly Smart she'll come back there one more time now, Kret, and look for the gank again.
Yeah, that said, Kali not necessarily at the position where she wants to be able to kill Chalk just yet. She does have chin size online, so the damage is really, really big from Kali, but a lot of trouble sticking to targets. That said, Chalk, he does have a slow, he does have creeping curse, he doesn't have boots yet, so
Yep.
it's a little bit more even than you might expect. I expect. I still want to give it to Chalk in terms of escaping. Kali
True.
without boots has trouble sticking.
I mean, with Aphrodite as well, they do have the kiss and the incense together. That should be by enough time for some damage. Will it be enough to secure the kill? Well, remains to be seen if that does become available. So right now we're in a little bit of a pause again. Right inside mid camps will be coming up sooner rather than later. 500 gold lead right now for Torch, which is nothing to write home about. 1300 experience though. It's a small lead, and most of that really is down to the supports right now. Although mid lane there is a one level lead in terms of the mid lanes between Aokwang and Zhonghui.
Yeah, mid camps on the right hand side aren't going to be coming up for about a minute, so these teams are showing up a little bit early. And Striped Otter's going to be taking a lot of damage. Great tornado placement, and that's going to actually be a cavalry charge coming through. Sonic Boom and the Romal sniping
alive.
in.
What?
Fabi's going to fall.
What?
Vinaroon and Aokwang in.
What?
And how did Guan get out?
How did Guan get out, and how did Ram have the presence of mind to come across at that point in time to force that engagement? That's going to be a Gold Fury as well, and Guan lived. Are you serious? What the hell?
Yeah, that is absolutely incredible. And now it's up to Fossen to make something happen. He does have the boar, and make no mistake, Tusky is an incredibly powerful addition to the team when he chooses to be good. But in this time, it looks like Tusky will not be able to make the play happen. Fossen just trying to get some auto attacks, but in the end, not really going to find anything. And actually might be pushing up a little further. That's going to be a special delivery in, turned on, and this is likely going to be dead Artemis. No! It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade.
Oh, that was only 2-for-1. So close to 2-for-1. Now Geb's here looking to clean up Gus there.
2-for-1.
There you go, okay. 2-for-1, but Gold Fury still goes in favor of Torch. They picked up 4 kills overall in that engagement, but then, lost the Gold Fury as well. I mean, it's definitely in favor of Torch overall. You can see that by the Golden Experience lead, but it got cut a little bit with Artemis picking up those kills.
Oh yeah, and I mean that Artemis kill onto Gusta more than anything was huge, right? I want to say that was a 500 gold kill because you just killed the Geb kill, but that's a 4-0 Zhonghui. So now the thing comes out is what happens when you get such a powerful kill onto your support, as that essentially did make up the Gold Fury deficit for Fabi, and that's just going to mean an earlier solve that you would have otherwise had, which is really good actually. Sovereignty is going to be very important against a Zhonghui composition.
Definitely, especially with that Fabi as well, who was behind him. He actually went for the Hog 3, but like we talked about a little bit earlier, that one didn't pay off for him because of the fact that he died in that engagement, so wasn't over there for the Hog to actually secure the Gold Fury, and he was delayed in his Midas boot, so that will help him out catch up a little bit against Striped Otter in that support role. You can see he's still 200 gold behind after that Gold Fury going down. He's going to stay that way for a while, but now Carly rotating left-hand side. Meanwhile, Mercury right. They've got to look for the damage onto Aphrodite, but Undying Love comes out just in time to prevent the special delivery from connecting. Not going to find anything there.
Yeah, I mean, great play from Aphrodite to stay alive, and good position on the left-hand side of the map just to make sure that Kali couldn't gank. She is pinged out, is getting collapsed on here, and I think Gusta does know about this. He's just kind of baiting. Turns around with the stun. Not going to last too long. Incest doesn't connect. Recall Demons. Kali is slowed, but will it be enough damage in the end? And yes, actually bursted down with the Exorcism. Sonic Boom a little too late, and El Chapo is going to find the Spirit Tempest. He's now in a tough spot. CV will find Striped Otter, and El Chapo able to get out. So that's going to be a 1-for-1 overall. Looking good for the late boomers.
I had a small thing in my head saying Striped Otter's going to live through this yet again. I expected it. Meanwhile, though, Shark trying to push down this solo lane tower at the moment. Gets some good damage onto it. Not going to find enough as the kiss lands from Aphrodite. She gets back. Geb rotating in. I don't think they're going to find a kill here. There still is a Shark. Meanwhile, left-hand side, Jules going on between the two of the Hunters right now. Boxing not going in favour of Fozzing. He's got to watch himself. He's going to fall minion wave. Has to pop the sprint and back away. The tumble in. Going to apply a little bit more pressure. Can't follow too much deeper, otherwise the tower's going to get involved. But nice trade from Ram. He's going to the sky, though. Astral Barrage. 1 hit finds. 2 hit finds. The third one. Christmas time for 1 glance. Secures the kill. Nicely played from him.
Yeah, that was a beautiful play. Great use of Ram, and I believe it was through trees as well, so really not able to see his target too clearly. The one other thing I do want to mention is, El Chapo with that Heartseeker on Mercury, it's really tough to tell how many stacks he does have, but do you think he's really able to keep that fully stacked?
I'm not so sure. We'll have to see if he can keep his stack, because right now, you know, it's not paying off with him dying again. But now Chuck has already used the Storm Call, having to run for his life right now. The Doves are already on him, but they can't bring him down. And Ancile is actually paying dividends for him, because the Doves are not doing as much as they normally would.
Yeah, they're definitely not, especially because Osmos going the Warlock Sash first, which is, of course, a great build. And in this situation, the downside is no pen boots. Yeah, left-hand side going to be big. Fabi taken down nice and easy.
Wow, I mean, One Glides just went very aggressive on Fabi there, didn't realise Otto was in the area, rotated him with a cavalry charge, secures it, but now they've got to be careful about overextending. They've got a ward, so they should have vision of this one, and they're sticking around a little bit too long, because now CV's here. He's going to apply the Squall, Tornado's not going to connect, and he's actually going to charge it because he knows he's got backup coming in as well. But what backup is that going to be? Because the ball has to be popped defensively again. Carly not in the area now, Sonic Boom being charged, are they going to go back in?
Well, Kali's rotating in, but it's still going to be 4v3, and they know it. Kali spotted out by a ward. What's El Chapo going to do here? It looks like the call is going to be to disengage from Torch. They would have to dive a tower there. Their Guan is a little bit too low to do that, and they're not going to go for the play. And Solin Chalk is he's doing fine for himself. He's been under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he's been put under pressure consistently by Carly. Same time, though, like, Mercury's been over here just as much as Carly has against this lane, and still no kills picked up with this one. So both these just farming away as much as possible. And I really feel like if they want to bring someone down in this solo lane right now, Kret, the jungler's got to pay, you know, a lot more attention to this lane and try and put the pressure on even further than they have. Not just a one-off gank and then go away for a few minutes. Stick around, do it over and over again. But now the junglers might meet each other.
Yeah, both of them, and it looks like
they've not seen each other?
I think El Chapo saw it.
Oh, Kali doesn't
really
know.
awkward.
That was so awkward.
It's not going to happen, I don't think. Oh, Kali going in, jumps in, and now with no escape plan, this could definitely be turned on. Storm Call comes out. Vinaroon in a lot of trouble, special delivery, and this is going to be Kali's ultimate at the very least, but Thunderstrike, such a strong ability, will... Oh,
the jump away at the right time, missing the Sonic Boom, and now Chuck's got tower angle, but now Vinaroon's trying to run back to tower. He's going to lift it out. Squall missing from CV, and with Jean-Qui being there as well, just going to force a disengage. Everybody lives. Craziness, but now... Look, Guan Yu, Geb on the way over as well, but I don't think they're going to find anything. Why are minions chasing through the jungle again, Kret? They're on like this rampage of roaming around.
Oh, it happens, and we'll
Minions,
see where
please.
Striped Otter ends up taking this one. Looks like he's just going to give it to Zhang Kui. Just going to give it to Zhang Kui. But, I mean, what great rotations from both teams, right? So,
yeah,
4 men showed up off of a really awkward 2-man gank, and in the end, nothing happened, and that speaks to the way both teams played, right? Kali able to get out with that clutch timing, but you know, on the left-hand side, it's going to be a roll towards from One Glance. He gets a sprint. That's not insignificant.
One thing to know about One Glance here, though, as the mid-camp's getting taken down by Torch there, Kret, is the fact that he's already got the execution. He's building chins as well, and now Carly's coming, pops the sprint, Geb rolling in on the backside, they're going to be able to collapse on him. The knock-up is good after the leap, but now he takes up into the Astral Barrage. He's going to buy his team time to collapse back down. Cataclysm, not very good from Fabi as the cavalry charge comes out, and now Carly's the one in trouble. The ball's going to delay Jean-Qui, but for how long? Not long enough, because he's going to go down too, and now we're going to see El Quan rotating to 4 members. Is he going to find an ult? He's not, and now he's going to run away too.
You know, I do like that decision to ult there, where it's just like, oh god, this was a good position, now it's not, and I need to clear some space. So that ultimate, if Torch was positioned to chase the Aoquan, would have knocked them away, but now he doesn't have it for this Gold Fury, and this likely will go to Torch safely. That said, Striped Otter is very low, will reset, Torch gets the Gold Fury, Fabi blinks in, doesn't have the best way out, One Glance is going to cripple. Sonic Boom looking for CV on the left-hand side, special delivery to get close, and Made You Look, auto attack finds the kill.
Works out just enough for them overall. I felt that they were a little bit split going for Fabi on that side. But now Chuck rotated mid. I like what Chuck did here. Rotated to mid. He's taken the tower down the right-hand lane. He's now roaming around, trying to cover up mid lane. He knows the right-hand side mid camps are coming up. Left-hand side Torch all grouped up to take down this tower. There's not a lot Carly and Geb can do against this right about now. But now we've got a moment to speak. How do you feel about this Chins build after Executioner on Ram? It's not something we normally see.
I like it, given... Okay, so here's what it's going to do, right? We mentioned that the idea from Late Bloomers is that they're trying to protect a character, such as Artemis or Kali, right? And part of that protection is having your front line stay safe. That said, Ram does have an attack speed boost. Executioner is very good at killing tanks. Chin size is even better. And so, with Fabi being behind, being a little bit weaker, I just kind of feel like one glance is just gonna kill Geb, and it's like, who cares if you're protecting your Artemis?
But I mean,
Your front line's dead.
But your attack speed cap out with pick me up at max level? That's my only concern with it. Very close.
I think it's close, but I don't think it's a problem unless they get one more attack speed item.
Well, we'll see as this goes on what they choose to do, because right now Mercury looking for an opportunity right hand side. Not going to find anything. Not sure why he's floating around here too much right now. I mean, blue buff had just gone down, I guess, but with the tower being down, a bit dangerous to pressure that side, especially the side of the fire giant at 20 minutes in this game. But right now, I mean, Torch in good control here, Krat. I mean, you know, the 12-4 up in terms of kills. They've got a couple of gold furies, good lead of 5,000 gold, just over 5,000 gold, and just over 8,000 experience as well. They're looking good.
You know, the one other thing I want to mention about One Glance's build, and I actually didn't just notice this until now because you wouldn't expect it. He doesn't have shoes.
Yeah, he's not got boots.
20 minutes in,
That's
he doesn't have shoes. Relying on sprint to move around, it seems to be working. That said, the question is, when is he going to buy shoes? Or did he just forget? I mean, sometimes when you're going a get shoes later build, you do just forget. It certainly has happened before. I mean, forever ago, there was a game where Youngbei forgot to buy items when he left the base.
You don't need to always buy items if you're as good as Youngbei. I mean,
I think they won that game.
Yeah, exactly. See, you don't need to buy items if you're as good as Youngbei. But one thing to note as well, I mean, if he's going to go for this sprint to use his mobility, if he misplaces one rolling assault, he's going to be in a whole world of trouble, especially against a team like this that can really cripple you for that as well. So we'll see what he's going to do with the next item on this. It looks like he's already going for the Rage next. He's already picked up Hidden Dagger, sold off his Death's Toll, and working on that already, still without the boots.
Yeah, you know, the other thing I worry about is given the composition Torch is running with Chalk, with Mercury, with Zhang, with Guan Yu, they're all very much run towards the enemy and kill. They're literally a cavalry charge composition. I feel like One Glance actually could end up literally falling behind, like literally not being able to keep up with his team, which would be a concern because once your AD carry isn't doing damage and theirs is, you're in a bit of a tough spot.
Do you think One Glance is actually role-playing Rom just because Rom's not actually wearing any shoes in the game? He's decided I'm not going to buy them either because it wouldn't, fit with the character?
That is probably partially
sense,
the idea.
right?
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly a good idea. And honestly, let's be honest, Mercury with speed buff has enough move speed for the both of them.
That's true. So Mercury makes up for the lack of mobility on him with the mobility on Mercury. It makes perfect sense. So right camps go over to Torch right now. 21 minutes in the game. Bit of a dance fest now with these two outer towers on the right and left gone down for the tier 1s. The assault from Torch will generally try and be on this middle one, but against an Eo Kwang, going to be a big ask to try and work those minions through a tornado alive. And I can see late bloomers with these towers down as well. They're starting to group up, and that brings Aphrodite into the fray. Krat.
It does, and that's going to be a big help, but will it be enough? As Torch is currently sitting up 6,000 gold, 9,000 experience, 12 kills to 4, 22 minutes in. That's a really, really nice spot to be at this point in the game, where you're looking to transition in the late game, looking to make the switch from getting gold-based objectives to getting map control, fire giants, and really looking to push down your opponent's base. Make no mistake, Torch is going to try and transition into this late game very, very strong, and I think they have the tools to do it. That said, they really need to focus well with their physical characters, right? They have to make use of this executioner and then just pile onto one target. So it's about the calls, and Gold Fury is going to be the next one.
I have a real issue right now with the Torch game plan here, which is very, very slow. They could be applying more pressure now, but they're giving late bloomers a chance. Gold Fury's been started, though. The damage is real as the crits have landed from Rom there. And now Geb's going to turn up late, but are they going to make them pay for it as the knock-up lands from Geb? But the disengage is good from Torch. They're well aware just to disengage. This is a great call from Torch. Why fight when you've got the objective you want? Let's just back out. But maybe, just maybe, they're going in again.
Yeah, they've got Sonic Boom charged up. It will go through, and that's going to be 4 players. Will this happen? Cavalry Charge, Recall Demons, and the Astral Barrage. Lots of damage is coming out. Kali in the ultimate. Spirit Tempest could turn this fight. Hinduman, Stormcall comes through. And now it's up to One Glance, I think.
Now this is a bad fight because Aphrodite's still alive as well. Mercury's very low, has to go to the backside, does El Chapu. And look at this, Artemis is coming around the corner. She's going to put a trap onto Jean-Qui, and after the kiss as well, he explodes thanks to the back off. El Chapu does manage to recall safely, and with his no-shoes tactic, One Glance stays far enough away to slowly walk away. Who needs shoes when you don't get involved or overextend in the fight? But now it looks like the call for Fire Giant has been made here, Krat.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of damage coming out from the late bloomers with the Artemis and the Ao Guang. It's going to be up to One Glance and El Chapo to stop this. They certainly could be able to, and a big part of it is going to be, does El Chapo crit with that Deathbringer rush? Fabi's getting very, very low. They can take him down. That could help. One Glance, though.
Fabi,
actually,
what are you doing?
Fazen. Special
Fabi?
delivery. Fabi's in the mix. He's
Fabi?
not tanking
the
it.
shield. Okay. I was worried about the lava coming out and picking him up, but no, they're going to get it. Overall, Fabi gets out as well. Great heal coming out from Aphrodite there. One guy's very, very low, using that sprint to juke around, but still Mercury falls to Osmos on that Aphrodite, and Fire Giant and another kill going over to Late Bloomers. They are back in this one, Cret. And that all came off the back of an engagement from Torch after the Gold Fury.
And the biggest thing about that engagement was the way that Late Bloomers played it. They were in a lot of trouble getting chased down. Torch did focus Kali for a little bit too long in her ultimate, but that wasn't the big problem. The big problem was Late Bloomers backed off. They kited to the corridor right outside their mid tower, where there was no way to avoid getting hit by the Tornado Spirit's Tempest. CB sitting at 1,600 or 16,000 player damage, an incredible amount, and he got half of it.
I'm really surprised. I mean, especially after the fact that he hit a 4-man Sonic Boom, did Al Chapu there.
Yeah.
He hit a 4-man Sonic Boom that kept them all busy, and they didn't have the damage to clean them up in time. On the back of that, I did see that One Glance did use his ultimate with the Astral Barrage, but he focused Fabi with that one, and he didn't have the damage to bring him down overall. If he would have gone for a squishier target, I'm pretty sure they would have evaporated. Maybe the range played into that. I don't think it did, because where he did it from, I'm pretty sure he could have reached all the way to the other side of mid lane. So, it doesn't pay off, but now Fire Giant on Late Bloomers, and as their name states, once again, they're blooming late in this game, because now they've got Fire Giant online. Artemis split pushing left. She needs to be careful. The rest of the team pushing mid, but it looks like Artemis could pay with her life.
Yeah, it's going to be a special delivery. Nice use of bees. Tusky comes out, but that's going to be Astral Barrage coming out. El Chapo very, very low, and it looks like Fazen is going to be able to surprise
the ball
here. Yeah, this could turn around, but the middle lane is a little bit more important as they're diving onto Gusta. Stormcall comes out to try and stop, and Cataclysm will be interrupted. Fabi is very, very low, but Gusta's going to fall. Davis Arc as well, and while they did get the Artemis in that left-hand lane, at what cost?
Hey, 1 for 3. 1 for 3 and 2 towers. They looks like they can get Phoenix. It's only Mercury and Rom. I mean, they've got great wave clear, but with an Aphrodite to tank up with a Geb, they shouldn't be a problem, but a big crit lands onto Kali there. She's going to be careful. The crits are hitting Geb. Even with that passive, it's doing work to him. He's going to try and roll away. The Phoenix does go down, but can he survive? The One Glance who's juking out to the best of his abilities. Fabi still going to drop down. Meanwhile, Mercury gets hit by a kiss and a tornado, but Cartley falls as she dives in as well. Double kill goes over to One Glance on that one, but Phoenix does fall.
For Late Bloomers, that's one of those plays where you're like, okay, we've gotten control of the game back. We're still down 1,000 gold. We're still down 1,500 experience, but we have control. We're even, and we have a Phoenix down, which is certainly good. For Torch, you're saying that could have been worse.
It could have been better. What we could have done is not engage after the Gold Fury.
That's true.
And channeled near the middle lane. I mean, if they wouldn't have done that, this game was Torches. They were in full control. But right now, Late Bloomers are the ones. Late Bloomers. What a name to have, right? And do this in games, you know? What a name to have. Call yourself Late Bloomers. Come into the SPL scene with no prior experience, really. Never been noticed before, realistically. And then, in a game like this, come back from a really huge deficit to now... It's basically even right now, although the Phoenix is down in terms of golden experience. 1k difference between gold and experience is not massive amounts at this stage of the game.
Yeah, it definitely is. And, you know, now I think one of the bigger factors in turning these team plays is going to be active items and use thereof. Gusta needs to finish his Heavenly Agility ASAP, and I want to see Stripe Totter also go into that Weakening Curse before the next fight happens, but it could be soon. I did hear the clap with Sonic Boom, but El Chapo doesn't want to go in. They made that mistake in that same location once. I don't think they're going to look to do it again.
Well, we'll see as the time goes on. Have a quick look over the item builds while we've got a moment to spare. Oh, One Glance has boots. Roleplay over. Rank 1 boots online for One Glance.
Yeah, big pull at the Gold Fury, though. That's Heavenly Agility coming out from the Late Bloomers, but they're not going to do anything with it. So that is a strong asset removed. Torch is going to back off so that they can pause. And, you know, right now, Late Bloomers, right, this is Late Bloomers, 4 men on the Gold Fury. It will die very quickly. CV is trying to zone. Can Torch really find a way in here? Like, is it just going with the Sonic Boom, going with the Cavalry Charge, and try and kill everyone? Or do they give this up and try and get a fight on the way out?
I don't know. I mean, the fire giant is the fire giant still up on them? I believe he's just ward off right now. I mean, with that fire giant just wearing off the right time, this is the opportunity for themselves to get get control of the game again. With fire giant due up, they can get some towers down in middle lane again. Left hand lane as well is going to be available to them, so they could look to do something like that. But I think they need to engage here. The one key to this, though, Kret, is not allow CV to get in a position to use that tornado and all of it, but they're going to back up and just give it up.
Yeah, in the end, no Sonic Boom will come out. One glance seems to be in a bad spot. It looks like he might have had some trouble there, just taken down, not able to get out. And that pick could be enough to allow late bloomers control of this game.
Yeah, I mean, 53 seconds on the respawn. That's definitely going to be 2 towers in a 4v5 situation against an Aphrodite when the only real sustain is the conviction of Guan Yu. I think they're going to have to give up this tower as well for the time being. Fire Giant's coming up soon as well.
That said, to be fair to Guan Yu, he has done 2,000 healing so far. That's true. That's pretty good.
It is pretty impressive. But right now, Late Bloom is looking good to try and take out this game now, considering the start they had. And Carly, I don't feel Carly's really worked in this game overall, Kret, but as a team, the teams work really well.
Yeah, I want to say Kali's having trouble sticking to her targets. No sprint and no fatalis, and it's honestly no beads 3. Yeah, there's just no way in. If you jump, that's sort of you're fully committing to the fight, which means that after your ultimate ends, you're like, well, that bought me 5 seconds, but I'm still dead, especially with all the AoE damage just flying around from Torch. But this is the Fire Giant. It is 4v5 for Torch. They still have to stop this, and they do have Recall Demons. They have Storm Call. This is going to be big, Hindu Man.
Yeah, we're going to be big indeed, and you're going to see immediately Connie gets evaporated before she can use the ultimate to deliver use. Cavalry charge online from Otter. He's trying to zone out. He's keeping CVB, but the tornado and the Spirit Tempest connects over the back. But Fire Giant does go over to Late Bloomers, and now they're going to go back on the rampage one more time. Astral Barrage has been used. Otter goes down. 4 members still alive. Aphrodite keeping them all healthy as can be. Tier 2's tower stands in their way. Then it's onto the Phoenixes. Nice Duke over the wall from Jack. Are they really going to chase? They should be taking the tower here.
I think Ao Kwang, Ao Kwang has really good tower damage, but this kill could be worth it. Finds the Squall, split the difference, and this is a really good play coming out from CV. If he Tempest, he dies in Tornado. If he doesn't, he dies to the Ao Kwang auto attacks, which are surprisingly good. And now Zhang Kui, that rollout might give him a bit of space, but Artemis can turn and find the kill right about now.
Phoenix down, gotta go on Zhang Kui. Ball gets dropped and immediately goes backwards onto the Rom. Get your boots online because you're gonna need him to run back to base now. As there's an army approaching from Late Bloomers down middle lane. Phoenix drops there too, and it looks like Late Bloomers, against all odds after the start of this game, are gonna win this game.
Yeah, they're gonna have some trouble doing it though. Fabi taking a lot of damage, and that's gonna be a huge Sonic Boom coming through. But can they convert this into kills? Fawcett is very low on mana and will get taken down. A nice tornado, special delivery gets him in range, but does not find the charge. And now One Glance somehow has to make this happen. Does get a slight slow onto Osmos, but they're gonna turn on the fire minions. And in the end, it seems like Torch will be able to hold for just a little while longer. 2 Phoenixes down though, and that is very hard to come back from.
Well, 2 Phoenixes down. Aphrodite still has Fire Giant. Ao Kwang still has the Fire Giant. 1 Phoenix remaining. And now they're going to have to defend 2 lanes of fire minions while the rest of the team will look to push down this final left-hand lane because there's nothing else they can really contest on this map for the time being, Kret. But, small glimmers of hope for Torch as they try and turn the batteries around to make sure they've got a little bit more charge in them.
Yeah, but then there are these weird little limiting factors on them, right? They don't have a Heavenly Agility online yet. And with a Zhang Kui and a Guan Yu and a Chuck, like that seems necessary. I do like the double curses, the Enfeebling and the Weakening, because Enfeebling is incredible against Kali and Artemis and is really helping out Torch. And then Weakening is just important against Aphrodite. The other thing I want to mention is that Hog that went to Late Bloomers was 1 Hog versus 3. Mercury, Shock, and Guan Yu all have confirmed hogs, and in the end, it was Fabi on the Geb able to get that. Great timing, great positioning, and it comes down to the control and the Spirit's Tempest from CV. It was a team effort that Fabi was able to really make happen.
So now you'll see Late Bloomers looking to end this one out. Now they're going to approach left-hand side. Aphrodite leading the charge along with Ao Kwang. All Fabi needs to do, really, watch out for the Sonic Boom. That's the big key here. If you get hit by a Sonic Boom like you did last time, then Torch could survive a little bit longer. Let's find out what's going to happen here as they start the siege, waiting for the fire minions to pour in. Fabi's going to tank.
Yeah, they have to fight, but Striped Otter seeing a lot of them. Stormcall comes through, but it will be Venerin finds a kill on the El Chapo as Storm Barrage is going to come out, but Davis Arc falls down. Juan is just running for his life, gets sniped out by the Spirit 7. Beautiful play. Gusto will find a kill on the Fazan, but it's Kali with the dive, finding the kill, finding the reset, still taking the Phoenix, so likely will fall here, but
I don't think so.
That's
No,
the reset.
passive kicks in. And now we're going to see the final fix call. We're going to see 40-second respawns and everyone, fire minions, already breathing their hot, fiery damage onto the Titan. Torch lose this game to late bloomers in the most surprising of ways, and a great turnaround from late bloomers. Great performance from both these teams. Kret, I'm excited for the next game.
Yeah, that was really, really exciting. We have seen all 4 of our teams play so far. Now, one of them's going to have to go at it again. Well, 2 of them are going to have to go at it again. And we're going to see how they can recover from probably the change in momentum, right?
Yeah,
are they going to be able to keep it rolling? Or are they going to be able to recover? And I can't wait to see what's going to happen in our next round match, which is 5 Angry Men versus the Bloomers. Bloomers feeling pretty good, and Angry Men, see what they can do.
Well, I think 5 Angry Men will want to come out on all cylinders, especially after the first game they played. And late bloomers, you know, hopefully things get better for them going into the next one, guys. But we'll be right back as soon as the guys are ready to go with the next round game.